Giants want pressure. It means you believe in them. I've got people on the team that I will pressure and pressure and pressure. When I have a hard conversation with them, it's a hard conversation with them. I got other people on the team that I got to hug. Some people you hug, some people you push. Some people you hug, some people you punch. Some people you tell them, dude, what is wrong with you? Other people you got to love on them the whole entire time. You don't treat everybody the same. You treat everybody fairly and respectfully, but you don't treat everybody equally. All right, so today's episode is going to be business specific. We're really going to dive into a topic that's been hot in my mind, inside of my team. It's been a hot topic for us as we're really focused on growth and reaching a new milestone. And so I think if you're in the same industry as me, this is going to be hot. But even if you're not, this is a topic that will still apply to you. In your business, there's one person who could really change everything for you if you find them and if you identify them. And if you find them and identify them and you stop treating them just like anybody else, that person can transform your whole business overnight. And so this is a person who you could call them whatever you want. We have a term in our team that I'm not going to use, but this is that giant. Right? This is a giant. And when you find the giant and you lock arms with them and you run like freaking hell to whatever the goal is, you can really do things fast, really fast. The problem at the same time is if you don't do that, somebody else is going to. So a giant, when you get them in business with you, whether it's in any industry, and you get them in motion, let me just tell you, it's like a train. It's like a train. You're either on the train or you're watching the train fly by. And so we're going to spend some time on this topic today because a lot of us, especially in my industry, we're trying to build something. So I've got a couple on my team. They're number one right now in all of tenacity, Joey and Randy. They just crossed a milestone of 100 licensed agents. So in finance, they got 100 licensed agents. They're about to hit $300,000 in income for the year. They're smashing it. They're like a train right now. They got a lot of momentum. If you're on the train with them, you're enjoying the ride. Everybody else is watching the train blow by. And a lot of times we think that the bottleneck or the area we're struggling in is recruiting or whatever it may be. And that's probably true. But most people think they're stuck in business for the very simple reason that they can't get enough people licensed. But that's not the problem. That's not the problem. The actual problem, the actual bottlenecking problem of where you're getting stuck and you're losing momentum is in depth. And if you're in my industry, it's in depth. It's in taprooting. It's in driving legs deep. It's in building a team. The real problem is that you have no depth. Because if I go and I get a direct, here's Victoria, right on time. Every single episode, she happens to interrupt. So if I get a direct, right, and that direct doesn't get licensed, it's not a licensing problem. It's a depth problem. It's a taprooting problem. It's a driving their teammates deep problem. Every teammate doesn't count as a teammate until their teammate has a teammate. If I get a recruit and I drive a leg 1 deep, 2 deep, 3 deep, 5 deep, 10 deep, I'm going to see 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 licensed agents because that's going to create momentum. And there's something called fear of missing out, right? FOMO. And adults use it all the time. Kids use it all the time. I got FOMO. I wish I was there. Fear of missing out, right? In tenacity, I call it FOMO. FOMOOO. Fear of missing out on overrides. And so people are going to get licensed for the very reason that they have fear of missing out on overrides. So if I get a recruit and I drive that recruit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 recruits deep, guess what? Everybody gets licensed. There's no question about it. The team, when they're all licensed, keeps everything together. And everybody's winning and everybody wants to win. So if you taproot 4 or 5 levels deep, guess what? The licensing problem is gonna solve itself. And somewhere in there, you're gonna find a giant. Okay, somewhere in there, you're gonna find a giant. If you're taking any notes, I want you to write this down. 1 recruit, that's it, just 1. That's not a business, that's a hobby. But 1 recruit with a recruit who has a recruit who has a recruit who has a recruit, guess what? That's a business now. So 1 layer deep, it's a hobby. 2, 3, 4, 5 layers deep, now we're developing an actual business where we could get somewhere. So let's talk about finding the giant. Because the giant let's just be honest. Every recruit you get is not going to be a giant. You get a recruit and you're like, oh my God, this is my one. This can be my giant. Probably not, to be honest. Probably not. In tenacity, I call it, we have a 1 in 100. I believe out of every 100 recruits, we're going to find one giant. Of every 100 recruits. So if I just get one recruit a month for the next 12 months, that's not going to be a giant. But if I get 10 recruits a month for the next 12 months, we might find a giant. We might even find 2. If God's on my side, maybe we get lucky and we find 3. Okay, inside every team, there are 2 groups. There's the 80%ers, which are the steady, part-time, figuring it out, slow burning. We're always here. We always show up, but we don't necessarily get a ton done, right? 80% of the team, they equal for about 20% of the numbers of results. And then there's the 20%ers, the top 20%ers. These are the movers, the shakers, the closers, the what could be the giants. Okay, the giant though, what is the giant? Or your giants if you have more than one. They are the top 1 or 2% of the top 20%. That's your giant. That's the 1 out of every 100. So if I recruit 100 people that get licensed, 80% of them are going to do slow, steady, consistent, loyal, ride or die to the end of the world, but we don't get a lot done. 20% are going to be like, go, 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 and they're going to put up 80% of all of our points and numbers. And then inside that 20% is the top 1 or 2%, which are my freaking giants. Okay, and those are the ones that are fast to act. They get crap done right away. I'm trying to not have that explicit logo this episode. Okay, they get crap done right away. They don't make excuses. A giant does not make excuses. The other day I was at an event. Not going to mention names. Okay, I'm at an event. I'm talking to this young lady. She comes up to me. She starts asking me questions about her team and where she's focused at. And right away in my head, I just instantly go, oh, she's not a giant. She's not a giant, not yet. She's already trying to find ways to not work and how to justify not working. That's not a giant. A giant's a freaking grinder. A giant doesn't make excuses. A giant is competitive. They're fast to take action. They're coachable. They're already in motion doing something before I even finish my sentence. That's a giant. A giant doesn't need me to light their fire all the time. They don't. They're hungry even when they're new. They're hungry when they're losing. They're hungry when they're winning. They're hungry when things are good. They're hungry when things are bad. They're not in their feelings all day long. Okay, all they need me to do is tell them what direction to go. Give them something to aim. That's it. If they have something to aim at, they're golden. Okay, that's a giant. So what does lock and go look like in real life when you're training a team, when you find a giant? Okay, this is my philosophy in business, is a lock and go. We're going to lock and go when we find a giant. That means, number one, we talk all day, every day. I make exceptions for the giant. When the giant calls me, I answer the phone. I try to answer every time. If not, I call back right away. If I'm in the middle of a meeting and the giant calls me, I'm texting them like, hey, I'm in the middle of a meeting. Let me call you right back. Okay, constantly. When the giant texts me late at night, I answer. When the giant needs something, I make sure I respond. I got the giant pinned at the top of my phone on the text messages. Like, they're one of the pinned conversations up top so I don't miss a message. They're in my favorites. Okay, they're in my favorites where when my phone's on Do Not Disturb, guess what? The Giants call still goes through. Okay, so I'm constantly, I'm positioning myself to answer every phone call with the giant. I'm challenging the giant all the time, pushing them, expecting something out of them. Okay, I'm setting hard deadlines. I got a new director right now named Kelsey. I don't know if Kelsey listens to my podcast or not, but she's brand new. She's been on the team 2 weeks. We've had 3 clients, 45,000 points. We got another 50,000 pending. She's already got 2 teammates. She's got 3 or 4 more pending. We'll do another 40, 50,000 points this week. And I gave her a hard deadline. Hey, marketing director promotion and at least your $50,000 watch by the end of next month, 45 days from now. I just want to do a record. I want her to make 50 grand her first 45 days, something I've never done with anybody on my team yet. And so we're laser focused on it. By the way, she's about to be a mom. She's married. She's got a full-time career. 7 months pregnant. We're on the move. 7 months? No. I don't know how many months it is. But pregnant, okay? And we're on the move. So, she's a giant, though. right? She's got it in her. I could see it because when I tell her to do something, she just does it. So when I get a giant, what am I going to do? I'm going to build underneath them immediately. I'm going to get her teammates. That's why she's already got 1 and then 2. One of them is already licensed and we got 3 more pending. And it's her clients becoming her teammates. She's had guests on all of our events. Just had another one tonight. So I'm really focused on it, okay? We don't let the giants sit by themselves for a whole week without a teammate. We don't. The goal is momentum. When we fast start somebody, we do it fast. We don't do anything long. No long onboarding. It's fast onboarding every single time. Not, oh, let's wait and see what happens. No. Locked in, dialed in, on top of it every single time. We put a teammate under them right away, get them their promotion date right away. You don't, with a giant, you don't wait to see if they could swim. You just throw them the ball or just throw them in the ocean and see what happens. All right. Hopefully you're with me so far. Speed is necessary when you're training a giant. If you go slow, the giant leaves. If you go slow, the giant loses interest. If you go slow, the giant realizes you're not a giant. And the giant wants to be led by a giant. In fact, the giant probably wants to be led by the Goliath of giants, the bigger giant, right? Now, don't be smart and be like, well, Goliath fell. Okay, that's not the point. The giant wants to be led by a giant. And if they see you not moving, you're not a giant, the giant wants to move. And if you slow them down, guess what happens? If you slow down the giant, you lose the giant. And a lot of us make that problem. We try to micromanage and control. If you slow down the giant, you lose the giant. A giant's mentality is I'm going to take action now and I'm going to figure it out later. I don't need to know everything up front. I'm going to learn as I go. Now, a giant's detailed. A giant's good at what they do. I'm not talking about an action person only. But a giant's going to learn as they go. They're not going to stop all progress in order to learn. Okay, for a giant, every single day matters. They go fast. For a giant, they got a network, and their network is moving with them. So they're booking appointments, they're getting guests, they're talking about the business, they're learning, they're planting seeds, they're constantly doing this all the time. If you delay the giant, guess what? In the giant's mind, they're losing time. In a giant's mind, if they feel like they can't move because you're going slow, they're going to move on. The giant's thinking someone else is getting my client, somebody else is getting my recruit, somebody else is, I'm running out of time. They're chasing deadlines. The giants focus on this stuff. Momentum's what everybody wants. Okay? It's momentum. And when you get a giant will create momentum. But if you don't pay attention to the momentum, the momentum will leave. If you don't pay attention to the momentum will leave. I read in a book, what book was it? I think it was one of Grant Cardone's books. Someone said in a book, momentum is a jealous mistress. And if you don't pay attention to it, it will leave and go somewhere else. Momentum is a jealous mistress. If you don't pay attention to it, it will leave and go somewhere else. I don't remember what book I read that in, but it was so good. And here's the deal. When you get momentum is the thing you've always wanted. Momentum is the thing every business owner, every athlete, every sports team, every coach wants momentum. If you're trying to lose weight, you want momentum. If you're trying to gain muscle, you want momentum. If you're playing a sport, you want momentum. If you're trying to build a business, you want momentum. If you're trying to chase a milestone, you want momentum. A giant brings momentum. And if coach isn't ready for the giant, you will kill all the momentum. One of the things you can't do is treat everybody the same. One of the principles I've learned in business very early on is that if you want to have momentum and you want to scale, there's a difference between treating people fairly and treating people equally. So my philosophy is we're going to treat people fairly, but we're not going to treat everybody equally because everyone is not the same. So respect goes to everyone, but time doesn't necessarily get split up the same. Okay? I give my time mostly to the people who do the most. Most of my time goes to the people who do the most. Most of my time goes to the ones that I believe in the most, the ones who are focused, they're showing up the most. I push the people who I believe in the most because I know what they're capable of. And I know if I push them, I'm not going to push them out the door. So the people I believe in the most, I push them. Giants want pressure, okay? Giants want pressure because it means you believe in them. I've got people on the team that I will pressure. And when I have a hard conversation with them, it's a hard conversation with them. I got other people on the team that I got to hug. Some people you hug, some people you push. Some people you hug, some people you punch. Okay? Some people you tell them, dude, What is wrong with you? Other people, you got to love on them the whole entire time. You don't treat everybody the same, okay? You treat everybody fairly and respectfully, but you don't treat everybody equally. And you have to know the difference. I really, if I'm being honest, I don't push people that I don't really believe in. And I do my best to believe in everybody. But if I'm pressuring you, pressure is proof that I believe in you. It's proof that I really know you could do better. I'm not going to push someone if I don't really know they could do better. And I'm not going to push someone who, if I push them, I'm going to push them out the door because they don't want to be pushed. And not everybody wants to be pushed. I always believe in people. I never stop believing in people. But if I'm pushing someone, man, I really, really, really believe in that person and I know they could do something. So when you lock and go, here's what I want you to know as we finish up. When you lock and go with a giant, it'll change your whole culture. A giant will come in and just shake things up. Their name starts getting dropped all over the place. People start going, who the heck is this person? I want to listen to this. Who is this person? Who's this new favorite that they have? Who's this person who's coming in and shaking up things? Coming in, killing it. Who's this rookie who's coming in, putting up big numbers? Who's this person who's coming in and setting records? Who's this person who's coming in? They're confident and they're making it look easy. A giant will change your culture. It sets the pace for the whole team. It sets the energy for the whole team. It raises the standard because the giant's doing things that other people weren't doing. And the giant's doing things that other people didn't think were possible. The wins on the team become the proof where people go, oh my gosh, if they could do that, I could do it. Everything starts to shift. Everything starts to change. The whole entire environment, it rises to the level of the giant because the giant doesn't know any better. They come in and they're just doing their best. They're just doing their thing. They're not setting limiting beliefs based on, oh, it took this person this long to get to 100,000. It took this person this many years to get to SMD. The giant doesn't think like that. That's why the coach locks in on the giant because the giant goes, oh, I only know whatever coach tells me. 50,000 my first 45 days. Sounds cool, sounds easy. Let's go do it, right? So the giant is that person that their urgency forces everyone else to go faster. That's what you need. You want to find that one person who's obsessed. That one person that if you light a fire under them, the rest of the team feels the fire. The other 500, 600 people, they feel the fire. That's what you need. So here's what I want you thinking about. Right now, someone on your team or someone who you could recruit down the road, they could become that giant. You might have someone on your team right now who's a giant and you're treating them like everybody else. Or when you find this person, you have a habit of just treating everyone the same. I want you to start thinking, could this person be the giant? If you're in my mastery class, I gave you the whole entire avatar of someone who is a giant. The avatar worksheet, like that's literally the recipe of a giant. I think I even titled it that. It's titled that for sure in our tenacity handbook. That's what you're looking for. And you want to lock in on that person and you want to drive their team deep. You want to drive their business deep, their clientele. You want to drive all that stuff deep. You want to move fast. You want to build and run with them until they could run without you. And that's the biggest thing is getting them independent where they could run without you. And then you set the giant free. You can't have the giant on a leash forever. A giant on a leash forever turns into an elephant on a leash, right? Where the elephant doesn't even try to break away because they don't know they're a freaking elephant. They don't know how big they are. They don't know how badass they are, right? Why? Because they're on a leash. You don't want to put your giant on a leash. You want to train your giant and set them free as fast as you can. Hunters and giants build hunters and giants. Leaders build leaders. Okay, leaders build teams and teams change everything. Your giant is out there for sure, but you got to have a mentality to find them. And so right now for me, I'm real locked in on this. I'm real locked in on finding my next big giant. I found one. I've been doing some phone calls to find another one. And you could take 1 or 2 or 3 giants and build that into a team of 100, 200, 300 people in 6 to 12 months. And I know because we've done it before and we're going to do it again. All right, you guys, as always, here's the deal. If you're in the mastery class, there are so many tools in there that you got to be utilizing. The avatar worksheet, all the scripting, all that stuff. We've got Cami and Boyer who are direct to us actually, who've done 30 directs in the last 3 months. Just utilizing the mastery class, all off of social media, scripting, all that stuff. 30 directs. They were number 1 in the whole company last month, tracking to be top 5 in the whole company for the whole year. Crushing it. Also, as always, we're doing profile audits. I've been really behind because I got a giant and I've been in the field a lot. So for those of you messaging me on Instagram to do your audit your social media, I'm not ignoring you. I will get back to you. I've just been slammed on appointments, field training, and trying to run with my giant. And she's putting me to work, and that is for sure. If you're not in the goat sledge, get in the goat sledge. I think we went up about 150 people this last week, actually, which is pretty cool. We're at almost 2,700 now, which is super, super sweet. Dropping value in there all the time. And as always, we appreciate every time you share videos and pictures and posts and reels of you listening to the podcast, and means a lot. And we are back. All right, you guys. Appreciate you.